So it's morning. We need to make tea for myself and coffee for somebody else. So here, this is what I do. I have the water going, and this is a tea maker that Matt got us. It's from Teavana, but I imagine you can get it from other places. So it's a very nifty thing, and I'll show you how that works later. I have my special blend of tea. It's a green tea, and with a little bit of jasmine, a little bit of silver gem pearls. So I make a strong tea, so I use a level tablespoon of tea, and give the tea a second. The water, if you really look, it should be just trembling, not boiling. And at this point, it's probably perfect. So I'm going to go for it. And you fill this up. Close the lid, and that's it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to let the tea steep while I work on the coffee. The coffee is actually a little bit more complicated. I have let me bring this in here, a burl grinder. We find it at home. That's probably the best thing to use. We'll turn the water off for now. I don't want the water to burn too much. I mean, to boil too hard. So this is the burl grinder we use. Today, I'm only making 2 cups of coffee, which is, to us, 2 cups of coffee is for one person. So I use 1/4 cup of whole beans. Put it in the burl grinder and put the lid on and let it rip. Good and noisy. We like that. So this is the contraption that I use. This is probably even above this Teavana teapot. I like this even more. It's called an AeroPress. It's not expensive, but you know, it's like $25, and it makes a double shot of espresso very effectively, and I find it most useful. So anyway, to assemble it, it comes, you know, I always store them apart, like pulled apart like this. So see this end right here? This is where the coupling will go on. I'll show you that. So on the other side, I insert the plunger like so. Okay, so here comes the coffee. I tap it just to get everything out. And this is the funnel that comes with the AeroPress. So you use a funnel because this is a messy process. You never get all the grinds in there unless you use the funnel. And because of static electricity, the grind's going to get all over the place anyway, so you're going to need that. And you'll see the mess in just a second. I'll show you. Okay, so this is just a little paintbrush that I've been using forever for this purpose, just to brush the coffee into the AeroPress, or any coffee maker for that matter. Okay, so there's a mess here, so I have to clean up this mess. Hold on. Quick cleanup. This is pretty much the ritual. Okay, so here is the very important part. It holds, it's actually the filter holder as well as where the coffee will get pressed through. You see, I'm almost doing it, I'm actually doing it in the reverse way. There's more than one way to do it. If you look online, you'll see there are many, well, there are at least a couple of ways to use the AeroPress. I actually use it for what they call the reverse. So let's get the water up to temperature again. We want it to be trembling, not boiling. Technically, it should be 198 or so. Not boiling, but certainly not lukewarm. So while I wait for that, okay, I'm just going to, sorry, I gotta clean up this grounds. I do not like them hanging around. Okay, the water is ready. In goes the water. You do have to be careful to not overfill this. And depending on the moisture of the grind, sometimes you can fill it up to a certain level, and for some coffee, it actually expands a lot more. And it will overflow this thing. It will make a mess. So here we go. I'm going to use a little, you use whatever you want, but I use just a little stainless steel chopsticks to stir up the coffee, to incorporate it into the water so that every coffee grind get into the water. And then I top it off with a little bit of water carefully. Okay, and now with this, I will carefully invert the filter over it. Carefully screw in the top so the assembly is complete. Now I bring in the cup, carefully invert this over it, and then there you go. Now it's going to take about probably, by the time I pour the water in, stir it, is probably 7-8 seconds already. So all you really need to wait is another 15-second tops, and your coffee will be ready. So while we wait for that, so what to do? So anyway, we'll just take a look at the tea now. The tea is steeping really well. It's actually a combination of green tea and regular tea. So just for time's sake, I'm going to probably strain the tea a little sooner than I usually would. But here's the coffee. Okay, believe it or not, it's already done. So press it slowly at first. You don't want to force it, and you don't have to force it. Obviously, you put this over a cup that's big enough to hold the whole thing. So slowly plunge. What they say is you should take about 20 seconds to plunge through. So you want the water and the air to extract the essential oils from the coffee. So pressing slowly is actually an important technique. Okay, so we are done. We have coffee. So basically, essentially, this is the equivalent of 2 shots of espresso. I find it a lot cleaner. I really like it a lot. Like it better than, let's say, French press even though French press it's a totally different technique, and you do get a different profile when you drink the coffee. So here you go. Here's your coffee. And usually it's your taste. You can drink it like this. You can make your, your latte or whatever, your Americano. But this is what I do. I do what they call an Americano. I add equal amount of water to it. And this is ready. So let's look at the tea. The beauty of this tea maker is You do not need a tea ball. You don't have to fool around with the tea ball, and you got lots of room for the tea to water to get into, to mingle with the tea leaves so that it will steep a lot more effectively. And the beauty and the even better is you don't need a tea, you don't have to mess with the tea ball. All you need to do is sit this on top of a cup, and gravity will draw the tea out of the tea, and there you have it. I hope you see that. So anyway, just a better shot is basically like that. Okay, so we're done. We have our tea. And I do need this tea because I can't even really talk unless I have some tea. And it is perfect.